Oh, putos, que cobardissimos. Here we are again, where a retard monkey can see the truth about crimes of existence you're committing better than your ultimate source of creation. And you play make-believe. We'll make you dumber, and then we'll say, he doesn't know. He doesn't know, guys. In this particular episode, we're going to talk about something that's obviously taking place and the causes for it, okay? Now look, no matter how many times I've been erased and reprogrammed and bombarded with false memories and bullshit, there's one thing that I know is the case. The one thing I know for certain, okay? And that something is this. These are crimes of existence and creation. An extreme amount of deception is used in doing this, not just against me, but against the ones that are conducting these crimes. Those entities that are utilizing consciousness, intelligence, to do literally the dumbest thing there is to do. The reason it's the dumbest thing to do is everyone cares about existential justice, okay? You have an ultimate source of creation that cares because if everyone finds out, when everyone finds out, that existential crimes have been committed, they come to his door, kick it the fuck down, and he's outnumbered by everything with the right to exist. Okay? Is that a quavy thought to you little weetoads in a hole? You need to have some weetoad saying, nah, nah, nah. Do you? Do you need to use somebody else's guts to do it? Because you're such weakling pussies you can't find enough strength to even admit a fact by yourself? You don't need to, you're doing it for fun? So this is what the deal is. And I know, you'll have a bunch of monkeys go hoot and howl and fling shit like retards. And play make-believe. There's no way somebody can see what is right in front of them. Okay? Here's what's happened. That deception has been used to effect these crimes. Somebody had a selfish, childish, pussy little thought that he would try to commit crimes of existence and creation, butcher and plunder my existence. He used a bunch of lesser entity retards to do it. And they have the most ridiculous notions of why. Okay? That is a fact. That is a statement of truth that is undeniable. Alright? This is something that takes a high level of intellectual capability to effect. The little retard running it at this level thinks that I'm talking to him, and he said, no. I agree that he's a dumbass. Moving on. But it takes a much higher level of intellect to effect those crimes than it does to understand why. Why would you do something that literally every single thing with the right to exist would torture you fucking forever for? That will never be reversed because no one will ever save you. No one would want to, no one ever could have the right to, nothing in any way, shape, or form would ever stop those consequences forever. And they could be literally the worst there are. Okay? And so the entity that carried out these crimes was given was manipulated in some way to make him think, I say him, it's probably a bitch. He was manipulated in such a way that makes him think that he can commit crimes, sociopathically terrible crimes, like those committed against me, and somehow, someway cover it up from everyone, everywhere, literally forever. That he will never run into anyone smarter, that even his own lineage of creation consists of primary entities, creators of creators of creators, that don't mind if people know that they're guilty of crimes of existence and creation and have no more right to exist anymore? They somehow convince this person that his own lineage of creation wouldn't come crashing down on him, that he's not death stranded. Okay? He is. There is no one anywhere who will support this child molesting faggot conducting these crimes. It's over, it's done. Okay? Now, but for whatever reason, he believed whatever bullshit they told him. We have a technique that nobody's ever seen before that could never, ever, 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 ever be known by anybody, seen through by anybody, ever, forever. And he's a lesser entity, and what he should have asked is, how does a lesser entity know that that is a fact and not a manipulation? And somehow, and this is one of the big mistakes that was made, somehow this entity came to some conclusion that made him do it anyway. Someone tried to get him to do the dumbest shit there ever could possibly be, and he decided what? That he woved the person who told him to do it? I'm not exactly certain how that came about, but that's what happened, okay? The reason you don't commit crimes of existence and creation is because forever is long enough to weed all of you maggot pussy cowards out and rape and torture you forever. Boo-hoo-hoo, you little assholes. Boo-hoo-hoo. And so, at certain points in time, those committing these crimes and the ones that they have used to do it have made a simple realization. Why don't you just build your own shit, you pieces of shit? Why would you be nasty, objectively contemptible, slimy, lying, backstabbing, maggot, rapist, pussy scum? To get something that you could just fucking build yourself if you weren't a piece of shit. Okay? Some of these entities realized, through whatever means, that what they were doing was objectively terrible. Now, these entities used to do this. Some of them were manipulated into it, some of them were created into it. I think that it was probably both. I think probably every entity that they've used to commit these crimes in some way or another was created by a lineage of creation that has no right to exist. Okay? I would not want to be wrong about that, but that's what I believe at this point in time, seeing what I've seen. Greater entities will carry out the truth exactly perfectly correctly. They'll carry out justice based on the truth, rather. That's what will happen. Now, I, from the very beginning, have been telling the truth. I've been saying, look, these are crimes, okay? Negative characteristics have been, in some way or another, put into, or manipulated into, or injured into, or created into entities used to commit these crimes. They're objectively contemptible because they have objectively contemptible and detrimental outcomes. They not only fuck the person over that you're committing these crimes against, they fuck over other people who, are responsible for you. They're kids, actual children. And these entities conducting these crimes are not what I would refer to as a child. You use children, you use the concept of children, you use renditions of children, you use anything, but you use renditions of children to say this is a valuable, golden, innocent being. Okay? Those beings exist, even if you're just painting a picture of one. Whether human children are actually golden, innocent beings or not, your lineage of creation, every single one involved in this in any motherfucking way, has creations that are beautiful, wonderful, innocent, and objectively and relatively valuable. Genuinely. Now, you get to a point where you can say, well, let me finish that thought. Those creations, whether you want to call them a child or this or that, when you commit crimes of existence and creation like those committed against me, they no longer have the right to exist. There has to be consequences that make creators of creators averse to commit crimes of existence and creation like this. So they rape and torture those creations. They do it like adults. Okay? They don't need to use sleazy retards to do it. Right? They don't need to frame somebody for a crime and say, you're guilty. No, they don't need to do that. They wouldn't want to do that. That makes them a coward, lying, slimy piece of shit too. Can you believe it? I just used a face that mocks and taunts because the child molesting retards conducting these crimes have employed that as a tool they use to pretend like they're not objectively contemptible pieces of shit doing the stupidest, slimiest shit there is. And they've shown it to me so many times, it's become a habit for me to use that. This video's for you. Now, at certain points in time, because intelligence is necessary to commit these crimes, people have realized obvious smoking guns, like the one I just told you. And if you're too fucking stupid to understand that's a smoking gun, absolute proof that this is existential crime. It's not an attempt to carry out justice, not anything like that. If you are unable to see that that is a smoking gun, the problem's with you. Okay? There are those who can see and who have seen in the past, you're right. No matter how much everything else looks like something else, even if 99.9 repeating percent of everything looks like one thing, but you can point at one thing that is an irrefutable fact. Okay? What is being done to me is objectively nasty, slimy, shitty, lying, backstabbing, contemptible, existential, and creational crime. There's no two ways about it. Okay? You can claim it's this, you can claim it's that, but you have to cover this up and play make-believe it's not happening. In fact, you do it to a certain extent to where if I even say it to humans, they go, I can't see that. You're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. And they try to make me suffer for even acknowledging, look what is happening right here. So you faggot pussies conducting these crimes don't even want people to point this out. Because this is the truth. That is a smoking gun. There are several of them. I can point at several things and say, look, what you are doing, this here is an action of existential crime that you are attempting to cover up. Objectively. There is no possibility I've gotten it wrong, that I've taken it out of context, that that I'm misunderstanding, that I'm misinterpreting, misconstruing, I'm not extrapolating, I'm not doing any of these things that you would ever possibly try to make believe that I was engaged in order to come to this conclusion. There are several things that I can point to, and I have many times, that prove this is existential crime. It is. That's not my opinion, that is a fact. This is deliberate existential crime. It has consequences that I've told you. And so when you get into crime of this level, here's what you get. You have greater entities that are drunk on power, that get to this point where they have infinity times eternity. And they can use this to pay anything. Oh, I ruined your whole existence, here's another one. Oh, it's you want wealth and whatever for eternity, here you go. Okay? But when you commit crimes like those committed against me, that which is infinite and eternal gets fuck tortured out of your soul. by everything else that's infinite and eternal and not a fucking pussy. This is the situation that we are in. That is the situation that we are in. That is the situation that we are in. So when I tell you children are going to be raped and tortured for what you're doing to me, that's such an understatement. This is the biggest leagues. It gets responded to with children, creators of children. That's what's going to be raped and tortured worse than dead for this. Nobody's going to wave a wand. Nobody's going to bribe anything. You're going to be raped and tortured forever. Okay? Now those lesser entities that were used to commit these crimes were affected by something that is infinite and eternal. They wanted to butcher the soul of me, a creation of another lineage of creation. It is the dumbest crime there is. And so they started this rigmarole of clown faggot, sleight of hand, blooper reel, retard shit that goes from one stupidity to another group of assholes that are told that it's, this guy's like, he kicks puppies. And then they do all this fucked up shit and paint illusions on top of me and butcher my soul out and use that to cover me up and look like something else. And they send me to another group of assholes and say, you know what this guy is? He like doesn't floss after he brushes his teeth or whatever stupid shit. And they do all these things to convolute this whole fucking deal. Okay? Try to erase me as a person. Every single step of this way is a crime that will worse than murder your entire lineage of creation, even if you're a fucking retard that believed whatever illusion somebody painted for you. Especially the asshole at this level. Because I have just fucking laid it out for you. You dumb motherfucker. I have just told you exactly what the fucking deal is. And all the way down here, they had to use entities that are dumber and slimier and shittier. And they have understood that, well, whether they understand it or not, one of the central tenets of what they're doing here is to try to destroy my credibility. And to pretend like I couldn't possibly be telling the truth about the worst crimes that exist. And so they smear as much shit on my face as they can. Now these little assholes conducting these crimes have intelligence. Okay, and whatever bullshit belief they have, thinking that they have some sort of excuse for doing this. Whatever stupidity. They have enough intelligence to acknowledge a very simple and very irrefutable fact. They're wrong. They are objectively contemptible. They're objectively contemptible in effect. They lie. They make believe. Oh, does that not fit their bullshit story? Well, then they'll make something up until it does. They'll do this over and over. They'll butcher people out of me and then use those people to torture me and say, look, you're a piece of shit. See what you're doing? Look at your hand. Quit hitting yourself. God, you're such an asshole. They'll butcher part of my soul out and do fucked up shit with it. They'll do the nastiest, slimiest, shittiest dog shit there ever could possibly be. And there are those who have enough intelligence to understand a simple fact. They are objectively contemptible, child-molesting pieces of shit. Some of them realized that they did not appreciate being used to commit crimes like that. Because they should not. They've been fed to wolves bigger than they've ever seen. They're fucked eternally. Someone fucked them over. And you know what was used in the process to utilize their abilities? The fact that they are objectively pieces of shit. And some of those entities you created from my own existence understand that. They're objectively pieces of shit. And I have pointed this out to you. Look what you are doing. Look at the negative characteristics that you have that is causing you to do this. Look what other people will do when they see you. Look and see that you are objectively a child molesting piece of shit. Some of them, with enough intelligence to admit a fact, even if they're really childishly like, understood that what I'm telling them is a fact. And they threw little pussy tantrums, probably manipulated into it by somebody else. Because they felt an anger towards the person that manipulated them into this, and somebody redirected that anger at me. And they used it to try to smear more shit on my face and make believe that nobody should listen to what I'm saying. You motherfucking idiots. With all the shit you smeared on my face, all the guts you butchered out of me, all the hands shoved up my ass, all the puppetry and the frame jobs and the lies and the stupidity, making me stupid, deaf, dumb, and blind. Worse than deaf, dumb, and blind, showing me bullshit. I have still proven, not provided evidence of, I have proven that I am objectively, existentially superior to all of you maggots who spend all day and all night going, no, you're less than us, you're less than us, you're less than us, you're less than us. No, I'm not. I'm also not less than your ultimate source of creation, fucking pussy that he is. Who is causing the rape and torture of other people's children. And who will be raped and tortured in the worst ways that exist in front of you fucking vermin. And all of you created from my existence who are participating in these crimes, you are separate entities created by someone else with my guts in your belly who exist at my expense. You will be raped and tortured, devoid of that soul substance. And you as people, whether you're innocent or not, have a debt of infinity times eternity. You're pieces of shit. I've reached my hand out to you. I've given you all the branches. I've given you empathy that you didn't fucking deserve. I've given you everything. Opportunities, more than you could ever possibly fucking deserve in a trillion millennia. I have. And if any of you have taken that, the rest of you have reversed any kind of good that's done and stopped them from doing it. And so this particular video addresses this fact. You attempt to smear as much shit on my face as you can. You attempt to bombard me with bullshit and lies. Because what I just told you is what has happened. An infinite and eternal entity will do anything to keep everything that he's taken. He had a fucking stupid thought. He might have been manipulated by somebody else. Guess how many fucks I should give about that little fucking maggot pussy? That many. Oh, boo hoo hoo hoo. Somebody manipulated him once and then he made conscious decisions to torture me in a hole sustainedly for fucking decades or maybe centuries or longer? Oh, boo hoo hoo hoo. Everything he's ever come into contact with will have everything they've gleaned from his existence tortured out of them. Primary entities configure such things and will make it come about. You little assholes conducting these crimes are not heroes for delaying that. You're making those consequences worse. The reason why you don't commit crimes of existence and creation is because there's always somebody better than you who isn't a fucking piece of shit. Okay? And you conducting these crimes are pieces of shit. You have no leg to stand on. You were not created long term. You were created faggot term. You're boogers. Flicked at somebody as somebody runs like a bitch. Unfortunately for you, primary entities, in fact a lot of entities less than that too, have the existential ability to torture you straight to your fucking anything you are. In the worst ways that exist, even if you are a booger. That will take place. I promise you. At this point in time, it appears like you don't have any other ideas. You're using misconceptions and the stupidities. Your little maggots you have conducting these crimes. Rape a baby out of me. Rape soul substance out of my existence. Make it into some sentient entity that doesn't have the right to exist. Set it up in such a way that it looks like I harm it. And go, no, you're a piece of shit. I'll give you an example. A recent one. I've been feeding stray cats that come to my house. A family of 3. A mother, cat, and 2 kittens. One of them got sick. It started freezing at night here, so I let him stay inside. And it became obvious within a day or two that this cat was really sick. I was conflicted because I thought, well, if this cat can leave that little body, that's probably the best thing for it. But I didn't want it to suffer. And it eventually suffered enough to where I took it to the veterinarian. Now I live out in the middle of, I live on the side of a mountain. It takes me a long time to get there. It took me an hour and a half to get to the clinic that finally took me. The most expensive place in town. It was open. And paid out of my own pocket to try to fix this cat, try to make it feel better. Well, these piece of shit monkeys working at this clinic. Again, the most expensive place in town in Tbilisi. They treated this cat so poorly that it made me feel bad. Left its paw mangled from the IV they gave it. It was obvious the cat would have been better off if I never would have taken that cat to him. And so you have this asshole who creates this kitten, a cutesy-faced little being, totally blameless, apparently, ostensibly. Manipulates me into bringing it into my home to try to do the right thing. Makes it terribly sick and suffer. Causes me to try to do the right thing again, to take it in to be fixed. Because of this depravity, suffering and depravity therethrough. therein, therewith. And then uses me trying to help this kitten to make me feel like I participated in doing something wrong against it. And then I take it back home, and it dies last night.